Welcome! Join us as we improve your English through the power of storytelling. Each story is carefully crafted to help you learn new words and enjoy the journey of language learning. Today's story is called The Grateful Crane. Listen carefully, enjoy the tale, and discover new English expressions along the way. Let's begin. The Grateful Crane. Long ago, in a small village in Japan, there lived a poor farmer named Yoshi. He lived alone in a tiny house with barely enough food to eat. But despite his poverty, Yoshi had a kind heart. He always helped his neighbors and shared what little he had. One cold winter evening, Yoshi was walking home through the snow. The wind blew hard, and the sky was growing dark. Suddenly he heard a sound. It was a cry of pain. Yoshi looked around and saw a beautiful white crane trapped in a hunter's net. The crane was struggling desperately to escape. Its wing was caught, and it could not fly away. "Poor creature," Yoshi said softly. He looked around carefully. If the hunter returned, he would be angry to find his catch gone. But Yoshi could not leave the crane to suffer. Quickly and gently, Yoshi freed the crane from the net. The bird looked at him with intelligent eyes, as if saying thank you. Then it spread its wings and flew away into the gray winter sky. Yoshi smiled and continued walking home. He felt happy, even though he knew he would have only rice and water for dinner again tonight. That night, a terrible snowstorm arrived. The wind howled around Yoshi's small house. He wrapped himself in his thin blanket and tried to stay warm. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. Yoshi opened it and found a young woman standing in the snow. She was shivering with cold. Her clothes were thin, and she had nowhere to go. "Please," the woman said, "may I stay here tonight? I will freeze in this storm." "Of course," Yoshi said immediately. Come in, you must get warm." The woman entered gratefully. Yoshi gave her his blanket and made her hot tea. He shared his small portion of rice with her, even though it meant he would go hungry. "You are very kind," the woman said. "My name is Tsuru. I have no family and nowhere to go. May I stay and help you? I can cook and clean and weave cloth." Yoshi was lonely, and the woman seemed honest and good. "Yes," he said, "you may stay as long as you wish." From that day on, Tsuru lived in Yoshi's house. She was a wonderful companion. She kept the house clean, cooked delicious meals, and always had a kind word. Yoshi had never been so happy. One day, Tsuru said, "Yoshi, I would like to weave some cloth. But you must promise me something. When I am weaving, you must never look into the weaving room. No matter what sounds you hear, you must not open the door. Do you promise?" It was a strange request, but Yoshi trusted her. "I promise," he said. Tsuru went into the small weaving room and closed the door. For 3 days and 3 nights, Yoshi heard the sound of the loom. Click-clack, click-clack, click-clack. He was very curious, but he kept his promise. On the 4th morning, Tsuru emerged. She looked tired and pale, but she was smiling. In her hands was the most beautiful cloth Yoshi had ever seen. It shimmered like moonlight on water. The colors changed as it moved. "Take this to the market," Tsuru said. "It will bring a good price." Yoshi took the cloth to town. A wealthy merchant saw it and gasped, "This is the finest cloth I have ever seen. I will pay you 50 gold coins for it." Yoshi could hardly believe his fortune. 50 gold coins! He had never seen so much money in his life. He hurried home and gave the money to Tsuru. "Now we can buy food and warm clothes," Yoshi said happily. They lived comfortably for several months. But eventually, the money ran low. Tsuru went to the weaving room again. Once more, she made Yoshi promise not to look inside. Again, for 3 days and nights, the loom clicked and clacked. Again, Tsuru came out looking tired and weak. Again, she had woven cloth of incredible beauty. This happened several times. Each time, Tsuru looked more tired. Each time, Yoshi grew more worried and more curious. "Why does she look so weak?" Yoshi wondered. "What happens in that room? Why can I not look?" Finally, curiosity overcame him. The next time Tsuru was weaving, Yoshi quietly approached the door. His heart pounded. He knew he was breaking his promise, but he had to know. Slowly, carefully, he opened the door just a crack and looked inside. What he saw made him gasp in shock. There was no woman at the loom. Instead, there was a beautiful white crane. The crane was plucking feathers from its own body and weaving them into the cloth. That was why the cloth was so beautiful and magical. Each thread was made from the crane's own feathers. Yoshi stumbled backward. The crane turned and saw him. Their eyes met. In that moment, Yoshi understood everything. The crane he had saved from the hunter's net had transformed into a woman to repay his kindness. The crane transformed back into Tsuru. Tears ran down her face. "Oh, Yoshi," she said sadly. "I told you never to look. I am the crane you saved from the net. I came to repay your kindness by taking care of you. But now that you have seen my true form, I cannot stay. The magic is broken." "No!" Yoshi cried. "Please don't leave. I don't care if you are a crane or a woman. You are my friend. You have brought joy to my life. Please stay." Tsuru shook her head gently. "I cannot. It is the way of magic. Once the secret is revealed, the spell is broken. But I will never forget your kindness, Yoshi. You saved my life when you freed me from the net. You gave me shelter when I came to your door. You kept your promise as long as you could. You have a good heart." As she spoke, Tsuru began to change. Her form became less solid, more like mist. Slowly, she transformed back into the beautiful white crane. "Remember," the crane said with Tsuru's voice, "kindness is never wasted. The good you do returns to you. But some gifts are meant to be mysteries. Not everything needs to be understood. The crane spread its magnificent wings. Even though many feathers were missing, it was still beautiful. It flew up through the open window and into the sky. Yoshi ran outside and watched the crane fly away. His heart was full of sadness, but also gratitude. He had lost his companion, but he had learned something important. From that day forward, Yoshi continued to live simply. He never became rich. But he never forgot the lesson of the crane. He remained kind to all creatures. He helped those in need. And whenever he saw a crane flying in the sky, he smiled and remembered his friend Suru. And sometimes, on quiet winter evenings, a beautiful white crane would fly over his house, as if checking to make sure he was well. And Yoshi would wave, and the crane would call out, and he knew he was not alone.